Hey everybody, it's Jason Eagle from Strategic Healing. I just got back from Austin at Dr. Marshall's funeral, and we were talking about posting stories about Dr. Marshall. So I've been thinking about this one. This is one that sticks with me. It's about 2007, when it was the very first time I got my certification, certified referral practitioner. It was in Houston. And so anyways, he was testing and people up on stage, and I don't know, I think it was from a hint from somebody else, and but he called on me. So it was a big, huge crowd of people, and he had this girl up there, and he says, "Okay, Jason, big shot," as he would like to call baptism by fire, brought me up and said, "Okay, you test her, and I'll just stand and, give you the stuff." So I'm testing her, and as the process goes on, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And then we got to a point where he said, "Okay, everybody, let's thank you, but I'm going to take this one by myself because I'm not. You did a good job, but I don't think this is right." So we went to lunch, and I was kind of a little bit humiliated and whatever, but he came back later and said, "You know what, you did a really good job," because afterwards he had tested her, and he found out that like most of the things that I got were right, and I was just beginning. Had only been doing a few cases at home, but they were really, really hard cases. My very first cases were terrible. But again, baptism by fire. But it was a girl that had been to Africa and had gotten a bunch of parasites, and so all of the numbers were really, really squirrely, and what he thought was really, really off was pretty close dead on. So I was kind of a little pat on the back, and he always felt better when he approved of you, and and you wanted him to approve of you. So that night, we're going all out to dinner, and that was the first time I got invited. I got invited to go out to dinner. We were going to go to Buca di Beppo's, and I driving in the car with Clive, and you know how Clive drove, and Dr. Marshall, we were in his, I think it was a Mercedes or something like that, just souped up thing. So anyways, we got to Buca di Beppo, and this story also is one of my most embarrassing moments to Dr. Marshall. So we're sitting at the table, and it was me and Aguilera and Dr. Marshall and Dr. Brisley and Clive and a couple other people, and it was going well, and we're talking, and the embarrassing point was that, I used to work in the restaurant industry for years before I got into QRA, and so I got cook's fingers, and they had brought out the plate of the green beans, and I picked up the green beans to go to hand them to him, and the look on his face, he dropped them and spilled the beans all over the place, and it was, I was horrified. I felt so bad. But anyways, the thing moved on, and then so we got to a point where we got talking, and I had said to him that this is when they were back in Round Rock, and I had said, I just wanted to say that I was really, really impressed, because I know where you put your money, because it certainly ain't in the building. Because I said that your if you remember the bathrooms, oh my, the place was, it was, the money didn't go in there. What I told him is that you obviously are putting money back in the product, and then this is when something took over, and I would say it was the Holy Spirit took over, because it started to speak for me, started to speak through me, and it says, because I had no right to say, I didn't know him well enough to say, "I'm very proud of you." I said, "I'm very proud of you," and in fact, and then I went on to, because I said, you show where your care is. You're a millionaire, and you could put money in, but you're certainly putting it back into the people. And then the Holy Spirit spoke again, and it came out of me saying, "Your father is so proud of you." Not your father would be proud of you, but his father's dead. And he started to tear up, and it touched him, it thanked him, and I felt it was his father. It must have been, because, it was like I kind of came back to it, and I'm like, what right do I have to say this? But it just came out, and that's one thing that really stuck with me, is that the father, he really looked up to his father, and now he is with his father. all fathers. And the Father, which Dr. Marshall was too for so many of us, is with us, and he would want us to find the Father within. And if we could tap into his voice, the voice that was source, that was teaching him, that's who we are left with right now. And may it make us stronger and more confident, and that's my story. So, all right, thanks. Bye-bye.